Every season in the garden brings something new to enjoy. In the springtime, it's flowering trees and bulbs, followed by a kaleidoscope of color during the summer annual season. Once fall and winter rolls around, it's not about the flashy blooms anymore. That's when the 3 Bs, bones, berries, and bark, take center stage. It's said that if you can make a landscape look good in January, all the other months will fall into place like dominoes. So let's take a look at some plants for warm climates that offer the 3 Bs to enhance the beauty of fall and winter gardens. When we talk about the bones of a garden, these are the plants that serve as the structural foundation of the garden. Evergreen plants are especially good for this purpose. When you layer them with one another and with deciduous plants, the structure of the landscape becomes well-rounded. Proven Winners offers a number of beautiful evergreen shrubs for warm climates, from traditional evergreens to those with gold, red, and variegated foliage. Dandyman color wheel rhododendron has proven to be well suited to southern climates and is hardy in zones 5 through 9. Most rhododendrons bloom in single colors, but Dandyman color wheel has red flower buds that open to sweet candy pink blooms. They blush as they age, eventually ending a bright white. This variety is also very disease resistant and heat tolerant, which helps it thrive in southern landscapes. Expect it to grow 4 to 8 feet tall, which means it will make a great backdrop for a perennial bed in part sun. A new camellia named Just Chill Red Tip is another beautiful shrub to use to form the bones of the landscape in zones 6B through 9B. This one reaches 5 to 8 feet tall in part sun to full sun, so like the rhododendron, it also makes a nice evergreen backdrop for a garden bed. It was named for its glossy, burgundy red new growth, but you'll also love its fragrant pink, anemone-shaped flowers in mid-fall to early winter. Remember how we talked about layering your evergreens to create the bones of your garden? Well, the next layer you'll need are mid-sized plants to fill the middle of the border or to act as an accent in that space. A series we love for that use are the Jazz Hands loropetalums. Their beautifully arched form and deep purple or variegated foliage provide striking contrast to green-leafed evergreens. The fringed pink or white blooms add a fun pop of color in the spring. Try them in full sun or part sun if you garden in zones 7B through 9B. Fluffy is a golden western arborvitae that grows 5 to 10 feet tall and 3 to 6 feet wide in zones 5 through 8. You can count on it to keep its bright coloring year-round, so it's a reliable vertical focal point in the landscape. Now, let's talk about the second B on our list for winter gardens, berries. We'll start with a brand new plant from Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs named Berry Box. With a name like that, you know it's going to deliver on the berry promise. This is a new form of Pyrocomeles. It's a very low maintenance, heat and drought tolerant evergreen shrub for zones 7 through 9 that grows about 3 to 3.5 feet tall. Its arching stems are covered with tiny white flowers in the spring, which transform into bright orange berries in the fall. When cooler winter weather arrives, the berries turn bright red. Another classic red-berried shrub for the south is our native winterberry holly. These are deciduous hollies, meaning they lose their leaves in the fall, but that's a good thing. Without leaves, it's easy to spot the prolific berries on those eye-catching shrubs from quite a distance. Once the berries have had a chance to ripen, birds will happily pick them clean. Look for shorter female fruiting selections like Berry Poppins, or taller ones like Berry Heavy. There's even a form with gold berries called Berry Heavy Gold. Whichever you choose, make sure you plant one male Mr. Poppins winterberry holly for every 5 females and plant them within 50 feet of one another to make sure the plants will produce fruit. That brings us to the last of the 3 Bs, bark. In the south, you might think of trees like crepe myrtles, sycamores, river birch, or lacebark elm when you consider plants with interesting bark. We have one more to add to your list, Temple of Bloom 7 Sunflower, or Haptocodium. This interesting tree grows 6 to 10 feet tall and full to part sun in zones 5 through 9. It's been consistently gaining in popularity in large part because it attracts pollinators and hummingbirds in droves when it's in bloom. Its large clusters of fragrant white flowers appear in late summer. But it's what comes after the flowers that really makes this tree special. The bracts that once held the blooms blush a deep rose red, and they make the tree appear as if it's blooming all over again. Those colorful bracts hold their color well into the fall. Wait, weren't we talking about bark? Once the color show is past and the winter arrives, this deciduous, multi-stem tree continues to dazzle with exfoliating bark. The light tan peeling bark provides scaly texture on an elegant framework, bringing its own brand of beauty to the winter landscape. So you can see now, fall and winter landscapes don't have to be dull. If you focus on the 3 B's, bones, berries, and bark, it can be just as lively and interesting as every other season. Find more about these plants at provenwinners.com.